Bubble tea is a well-balanced sweet milky beverage with little tapioca balls. Throughout this video, I'll be testing bubble tea from different places and rating them. I'll be using this chart to organize my data, and at the end of the video, there will be a final rating that will show which bubble tea place is the best. At all of these places, I'll be tasting a medium-sized taro milk tea with tapioca balls, regular sweetness, and regular ice, and judging them based on the restaurant's online ratings, chewiness of the tapioca balls, the sweetness of the tea, the variety of the menu, specifically if they have Thai milk tea, prices, and the venue. Bubble tea is a tea-based beverage that dates back to the early 1980s in Taiwan. It's most typically made with tea and chewy tapioca balls, although it can also be created with various toppings. The tea balances out the richness and creaminess of the boba flavors, so it's not too sweet. In most cases, boba cafes prepare a tea concentrate and utilize it as a foundation of their milk teas. The first place I'll be visiting is Wonzo Bubble Tea in Fairfax, Virginia. It's actually a shop in an Asian supermarket with plenty of seating and surrounded by many other delicious restaurants. The online rating for Wonzo is 4.5 out of 5, and by looking at the beautiful venue, I began to understand why. The service was fantastic and my taro milk tea was made quickly. This place is slightly expensive because it cost almost $6 for a taro milk tea that came out much smaller than I imagined. The tea was very sweet, so if you have a sweet tooth, this might be an ideal place for you. Wonzo has a very diverse menu with Thai milk tea available and the option to have multiple different tapioca ball flavors in the tea. As I said earlier, the online Yelp rating for Wonzo is a 4.5 out of 5. I will be giving the chewiness of the tapioca balls an 8 out of 10 because it had a very good balance between soft and chewy. The sweetness of the tea is going to have to get a 6 out of 10 because it was way too sweet for me. The venue is getting a 10 out of 10 because it had a ton of seating and there's a lot of delicious restaurants nearby. The variety of the menu is getting a 9 out of 10 because it had many different tea and bubble flavors and you can actually mix the tea with different tapioca balls. Plus, it had the Thai milk tea on the menu. The price was the only downside because the medium was smaller than expected and it was actually very expensive. The next place I'll be visiting is TDM Mini in Vienna, Virginia. From the outside, it looks very cramped, and I was right. There was no room for us inside. Moving on to the decoration, the inside is very nice. It was covered in chalk art and it has a huge bubble tea statue. The place was very colorful and pleasing to the eye. Unfortunately, there was no seating, only 2 benches outside. The service was very nice and my tea came out quickly. When I took the first sip of this affordable taro milk tea, my mind was blown. The first thing I noticed was the ice. They didn't put a lot and it had that really good Chick-fil-A nugget ice. I had no complaints about the tea because it was absolutely delicious. What sets TDM Mini aside from the rest is their tea flavors, specifically rose milk tea and lavender milk tea. I'll be coming back to try those. The online ratings for TDM Mini was a 4 out of 5. I will be giving the chewiness of the tapioca balls a 9 out of 10 because they are slightly more chewy than soft and I like it like that. So if you do too, this may be a good place for you. The sweetness of the tea is getting a 10 out of 10. I had no complaints and it was perfectly sweetened. The venue will be getting a 6 out of 10. Although it was decorated very well, there were only 2 benches outside for seating and it was very cramped inside. The variety of the menu will be getting an 8 out of 10. It had pretty interesting tea flavors. Plus, they had Thai milk tea. Overall, this place is very affordable and a medium was much larger than I expected. Next, I'll be having my sister Savannah try Kung Fu Tea in Manhattan, New York. Kung Fu Tea is a very reliable and well-known bubble tea place nationwide with an online rating of 4 out of 5. The venue was really nice as it has outside seating and the inside was not too cramped. The menu is very diverse with various types of teas, drinks, and tasty treats to offer.
Hey guys, it's Savannah. I'm trying Kung Fu Tea's taro milk tea. I would say the creaminess is really nice, and the taro is very taro-y. But the sweetness is perfect, and the tapioca ball sweetness is by far the best. It's always been my favorite at Kung Fu. The price was around $5-ish for a medium size, so not too terrible. And I mean, it's a pretty good size. I didn't get the large because, anyways, it's good. I like it. Kung Fu tea is my go-to, so we're starting out pretty high. We'll see what else we have out here.
The online Yelp rating for Kung Fu tea was a 4 out of 5. I will be giving the chewiness of the tapioca balls a 7 out of 10 because although the tapioca balls were perfectly sweetened, they were a little too chewy. The sweetness will be getting a 10 out of 10 because, as my sister said, it was perfectly sweetened. The venue will be getting an 8 out of 10 because there's a lot of outside seating and the inside was really small, but they did a good job with decorating the place with their tasty treats and drinks and opening up the space. The variety of the menu will be getting a 9 out of 10 because they are selling mochis and other tasty treats alongside their delicious bubble tea. Plus, they had Thai milk tea. Overall, Kung Fu tea is very reliable and known for selling good bubble tea. Finally, I will be having my sister try Pa Tea in Manhattan, New York. I've never heard of Pa Tea, but from their online ratings of 4.5 out of 5, it seemed very promising. The venue was decorated very nicely with colorful pictures of the drinks, and the walls were uniquely covered with post-it notes. There is an adult space.
Hello everyone, I have a new bubble tea and we're from Pa Tea. I got another taro milk tea with 100% bubbles, sugar. They have big bubbles, so that was kind of adventurous. This one is $6, so a little bit more than the usual bubble tea, but it is super tasty. I would say it's really creamy. The milk tea is mixed well, so it's not super powdery. And it tastes like actual taro and not just sugary milk tea. So, taro milk tea, I would give it 9.5 out of 10 because no one's perfect, but this bubble tea is pretty close.
The online Yelp rating for Pa Tea was a 4.5 out of 5. I will be giving the chewiness of the tapioca balls a 10 out of 10 because they are very large and have the perfect balance between soft and chewy. The sweetness of the tea will be getting a 10 out of 10 because, as my sister said, it was perfectly sweetened. The venue will be getting a 9 out of 10 because the walls were decorated very uniquely and there was some outside seating. The variety of the menu will be getting an 8 out of 10 because it had some teas I've never heard of, but basically it was your average bubble tea menu. Overall, Pa Tea was some of the best tea my sister has ever tried. Now on to the final ratings. The way this chart works is I will be separating all of the places from the categories on the left side, such as online ratings and chewiness of the tapioca balls, and I will be ranking all of the places from worst to best. Basically, the best bubble tea restaurant will have the largest number at the end. After going category by category and rating all of the places from worst to best, as 1 being worst and 4 being the best, I added up all of the total points each place got, and the place with the largest number of points is the best bubble tea place, and that was Pa Tea. Thank you for watching, and I hope you go to Pa Tea to try some of the best bubble tea there is.